Hi everyone! Welcome again to another edition of Storytime with Robbie. Hope you're all staying well and having a great day so far. Today I'm going to be reading you a few mouse stories and a story about a rabbit. So I really hope you enjoy. So the ones I'm going to read you today are I'm Not an Elephant by Carl Newson. As you can see, it's a story about a mouse. And then I'm going to read you Little Mouse's Big Breakfast by Christine Pym. And I'm going to read you Naughty Maybelle Sees It All by Nathan Lane and Devlin Elliott. And I will read you Harry in a Hurry by Timothy Knapman. Hope you enjoy. Let's get started. Alrighty, everybody. The first story I'm going to read you today is a story about a mouse. I'm Not an Elephant by Carl Newson. Here we go. Hello, elephant. I'm not an elephant. You are. You've got an elephant's pointy nose. You've got an elephant's floppy ears. Ha! No, not I. I am not an elephant. An elephant parts, but I do not. I growl like an owl. Grrr it. Tower. I beat like a sheep. Bah! Eep. I quack like a yak. Quack. I meow like a cow. Meow. Meow. Oh. You smell like an elephant. SM elephant. I am not an SM elephant. I am melon. I'm small, round, and tasty. Ah, no, I am not tasty at all. I taste horrible. Yuck! I'm a moose. No, you're not. You don't look anything like a moose. Maybe not, but it's what's on the inside that counts, don't you think? Or you'd be a brush, and you are a jerkin. And you, madam, an umbrella. I am not a moose, and I am amazing. I am definitely not an elephant. Am I? Park. Ha! What a silly old bunch. Now at last, it's time for lunch. Burp! Gah! I am not a moose. No, not anymore. Did you hear my roar? Yes, am I a dinosaur? Alrighty, everybody. The second story I'm going to read you today is another story about a mouse. It's called Little Mouse's Big Breakfast by Christine Pym. Here we go. On a crisp, cold day, as the night crept in, a hungry little mouse discovered he had nothing to nibble for breakfast the next morning. He had searched every sunflower for a seed and every bush for a berry, but all the food was gone. There was nothing to be found at home. Luckily, Little Mouse knew just where to go. He scampered along the path, up the drain pipe, until finally Little Mouse hopped through an open window, and there on the table was a bright blueberry. Well, Little Mouse loved a bright blueberry. A bright blueberry would be just perfect for a Little Mouse's breakfast. Little Mouse was just about to go home when he spotted something else. A rosy red apple. Well, Little Mouse loved a rosy red apple. A rosy red apple would be delicious with a bright blueberry for a Little Mouse's breakfast. But then, behind the rosy red apple, Little Mouse discovered some crunchy cookies. And behind the crunchy cookies, he found a chunk of cheese, a plump pickle, a spicy sausage, and a sweet sticky cupcake with a cherry on top. Little Mouse wasn't sure if these things would be particularly delicious, but he decided to take them anyway. Little Mouse had everything balanced when he spotted something special, something very tasty, something he knew would be just perfect for breakfast. A shiny, striped sunflower seed. What luck! Little Mouse loved a shiny, striped sunflower seed. A shiny, striped sunflower seed was his favorite. But just as he reached out to pick it up, crash! Little Mouse wasn't the only one looking for breakfast. The big black cat loved a little mouse. A little mouse was his favorite. A little mouse would be just perfect for a big black cat's breakfast. Luckily, Little Mouse knew exactly what to do. He hopped out the window and scampered down, down, down the drain pipe until finally Little Mouse was home. And so on a crisp, cold morning, Little Mouse had his first bite of breakfast. It was perfect, but it was small, and it was getting smaller. Little Mouse wasn't worried, though. He knew just where to go. Next door. The end. Righty, everybody. The third story I'm going to read you today is Naughty Maybelle Sees It All by Nathan Lane and Devlin Elliott. Here we go. All right, but where are my manners? Hello, my little darlings. It's me again, Naughty Maybelle. We had so much fun the first time, I thought a second date was worth a try. It all began a few days ago when things started to get a little strange around the house. For some odd reason, my doggy dish was filled with potpourri. It actually tasted better than my kibble, but my stomach didn't agree. However, it didn't approve my breath. Even my gas smelled a little better. Still, the next day I was not only feeling queasy, I was seeing two of everything. 2 front doors, 2 mothers, 2 fathers. It was too much. And then I was watching Martha Stewart on television and saw 3 of her making couscous, which made me faint. No more potpourri for me. I was just about to say something to my parents when I got the most exciting news. I had been invited to my first sleepover at Smarty Cat and Scaredy Cat's house. A sleepover, people. I mean, how adult, how divine. I'm a strong, independent girl. I was ready to venture out in the world and take a big bite out of it. Finally, I knew how rock stars must feel, and how on earth does one choose what to bring. Easy, just take everything. My parents said it was only for one night, and that I shouldn't get too excited. Please, have we met? It's like they don't know me at all. For the record, Smarty Cat and Scaredy Cat's mother is more than just a nice old lady who lives next door. Her name is Millicent Murgatroyd. As a young woman, she was an aviatrix, a female pilot who flies airplanes. Thanks, Google. Paleontologist digging up bones. We have a lot in common. And a university professor of history and anthropology. Smell her. One day, she found a large shoebox on her front doorstep. Inside, there were 2 kittens. One very nervous, the other smart as a whip, and they grew up to be my best friends. The next evening started very well. Smarty and Scaredy and I were having a great time playing dress up. Then we settled in to watch one of Nilsson's old black and white movies. Not my idea of an exciting way to end the night. But what are you going to do? She's 70. That's 490 in dog years. I got bored and dozed off. I didn't care about Betty Davis or why she had all that makeup on. My own snoring woke me up, and out of the corner of my eye, I spotted a mysterious shadow on the wall. I decided to investigate. I knew it. It was a little blurry because of the dark, but there was no getting around it. It was a monster. Monsters are a tricky and elusive bunch, and the room was crawling with them. I grabbed the nearest weapon I could find and jumped into action. Mrs. Murgatroyd didn't seem to appreciate my heroic efforts. Maybe if she cleaned her house once in a while, it wouldn't be infested with monsters. But I decided this probably wasn't the best time to bring that up. Apparently, even my parents don't believe in monsters, right? And there's no such thing as the Tooth Fairy or the Easter Bunny either. Some people just can't handle the truth. Anyway, they just called me naughty and put me to bed. So demeaning, so confusing, I saved many lives. Maybe next time I just let the monsters eat them. Maybe I just... But then I saw something. I knew it! The monsters followed me home to have their revenge. Isn't that just like monsters? They like to play with your head, but if I could catch one, I could prove I was right, and I love being right. So I called out, "Here, monster, monster, come out wherever you are." I could play their little game, and that's when I spotted one. It was huge. This monster needed to lay off the carbs. I decided I had to either attack it or wake up my parents with the good news. Attack! Can you believe it? My parents still couldn't see the monster. Maybelle! Now, if you recall, this is where we began, and I decided to turn myself in and get time off for good behavior. Only I couldn't figure out who to turn myself into. They seemed to be cloning. I had no idea which lucky couple were my real parents or what was happening. Fortunately, the smartest couple figured it out. Guess what? There were no monsters. I needed glasses. Glasses for a dog. Who knew? They had to take me to an ophthalmologist, oh, you know, the eye doctor. Optometry for dogs. I wasn't sure I liked the looks of the joint. The room positively reeked of regret. I swore I'd be good. I'd give up believing in monsters. I was cured. We could go get smoothies. Everything looked, better. That explained a lot. My bad. Glasses, it turns out, are very attractive, especially on me. They give me that serious intellectual. I just finished writing my first novel, but I also love to party love. Heavens, I thought I heard another monster. No one bought that. My parents decided contacts would be more practical for an active girl like me, and they were right as usual. So, what we can learn from all of this, darlings? Well, sleepovers are potentially fraught with danger, and life is full of surprises. But you can always count on your friends and family to help you out when you don't see things clearly. And by seeing things clearly, I mean I see that pile of leaves. I see it's not a monster, so I see no reason to attack. But where's the fun in that, darlings? The end. Hey everybody, the fourth story I'm going to read you today is Harry in a Hurry by Timothy Knapman. Here we go. Story about a rabbit. Here we go. Harry was always in a hurry. He ate fast. He talked fast. Blah, 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 blah. And he rode around and around on his scooter so fast that everything he passed looked like this. But Harry didn't care. Yippee! He cried as he zoomed around faster and faster, tripping up the lollipop lady, knocking over the pizza delivery boy, and setting the postman and all his letters and parcels flying. He didn't notice the great big hole that he nearly fell down, or the prickly hedge that he nearly ran into, or the teeny rock on the road that snagged his front wheel and sent him and his scooter flying. right into the pond. When Tom fished him out, Harry hurt all over and his scooter was bent and wobbly. "It's broken," said Harry, "but I'm in a hurry." "Where are you going?" asked Tom. "I don't know," said Harry. "I won't know until I get there, and now I'm going to be late." Tom didn't understand, but Harry looked very upset. "I'll fix your scooter," he said, "but it will take time." Tom was never in a hurry. He ate so slowly that it was lunchtime before he had finished his breakfast. He talked so slowly that people fell fast asleep listening to him, and he sneezed so slowly it took him half an afternoon to blow his nose. "I'm sorry your scooter's taking so long to fix," said Tom. "Let's have some lunch. That will cheer you up." Harry hated waiting more than anything, but he hurt all over, so he couldn't really go anywhere. Harry was grumpy, but it was strange. Waiting for Tom, he noticed how cozy his house was, how comfy his chair felt, and how nice that soup smelled. "Food is ready," said Tom at long last. By then, Harry was very hungry. Usually, Harry ate as fast as he could, but he hurt his arm so that for once he had to eat slowly. He was still quite grumpy, but it was strange. Eating slowly, his food tasted delicious, and for the first time, it didn't give him hiccups afterwards. Tom spent the afternoon working on the scooter. "I'm sorry it's taking so long to fix," he said. "Let's go for a walk. That'll cheer you up." Usually, Harry went everywhere as fast as he could, but he'd hurt his legs so that for once he had to walk slowly. He was still a little grumpy. Walking slowly, the world around him wasn't a big, messy blur. It was beautiful. Tom had work to do, so he slipped away. Harry didn't notice. He took a deep breath and got a really good look at it all. Harry was still there hours later when Tom came back with his scooter. "It was as good as new." "Thank you," said Harry. "I'm sorry it took so long," said Tom. "No, I'm sorry," said Harry. "I was so grumpy. But because of you, I know that a house can be cozy and food can be delicious and the world around me is beautiful. How can I ever thank you?" For once, Tom didn't have to think for very long. Yippee! The end. Alrighty, everybody. Really hope you enjoyed the 2 mouse-themed books today and that story about a dog that I thought was about a mouse because it looked like a mouse on the picture, on the cover, but it was a dog, and the story was called Naughty Maybelle Sees It All. And I really hope you enjoyed that book, and really hope you enjoyed the rabbit-themed book as well. Please comment on the videos as always, and let me know on the video as always, and let me know what you think of the picks. I always like to hear your feedback, and please let me know what your favorite book was that I read today. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you here on the next edition of